This is the Wheatstone Broadcasting Corporation.
Scott Fybush here at Wheatstone. I'm talking with Jordan Bitz from Bitz Media in Bismarck, North Dakota. And Jordan, you've got a full power religious station.
I do.
That you run, and then you've also got a low power FM.
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit, before we get into some specifics about processing, let's talk about in general LPFM. You've been on the air since January.
Yep, January 29th. We were supposed to be on the air last July, but due to some logistical issues, we pushed it back, and overall that was a smart decision.
Wouldn't be an LPFM project without a couple logistical delays along the way. So what are you running with on your LPFM?
Like format or
equipment?
Equipment, okay. Well, we have an Audio Arts Air 4 console, which I really like. Our board operators really like it. It's easy to use. It's got program 1 for on-air, program 2 for production, Q-Bus, phone in and out. It's a really slick console. Very, it was easy to set up. I had it in about 2 hours.
Excellent.
In and running, and then I have, your typical Sage NDEC, all that, 25/7 equipment for profanity delay, Zip 1 STL. But then at the tower site, I have a Wheatstone FM55 audio processor, which thumps.
Let's talk about processing, because for an LPFM, you don't have a lot of RF to work with. You've
19
really
watts.
You got to make every watt of that count, right?
And the Wheatstone FM55 does just that. We either ride with or float above some of the big boys in town as far as audio quality and loudness and
What's your
punch.
format?
All over the place. We're community stations. So we got, you'll have Native American drum music, followed by alternative rock, followed by smooth jazz, followed by real old vintage country and blues. It spans the entire spectrum. And then there's, of course, talk radio and live government meetings thrown in there.
And I'm guessing all the music is coming from a wide variety of source material, too.
Yeah.
People bringing in all sorts of...
iTunes, people's random, album collection, CD collection, and I try to put the best stuff in there, but sometimes just something real low bit rate will get in there and you hear it.
How do you set processing to try to cope with that wide a variety of programming?
Well, I started with the loud, not aggressive preset, and I kind of tweaked it over the course of about a month, just until I felt like it was the right stuff, the right spot. Because one issue we have too, outside of varying quality, is varying levels. Because somebody will bring something in that's totally over-modulated or way under-modulated, and we don't have a very large staff, and so to go through and try to do normalization and all that on the fly and ingest, it just doesn't happen all the time.
Are you doing any kind of pre-processing before it hits the FM55?
I have a 2-band peak limiter before our STL.
That's it. So what kind of response are you getting now from the community now that you're on the
Everyone
air?
loves it. Haven't heard anything negative about it. When I turned the station on the air, someone in my office came up to me and says, "Wow, we sound better than everyone else."
That's
and
fantastic.
We do.
What advice do you have out there for people who might still be in the process of building out an LPFM? What would you tell them?
Don't do it cheap. Buy the right stuff first. You won't regret it. I bought some cheap stuff in the beginning, and it's been phased out after 3 months. Do it right the first time. Get a competent engineer who knows things and can set your antenna up right and knows the equipment and can give you advice and steer you in the right direction. Just don't go online and buy the cheapest stuff there is and try to do it yourself.
There's a lot of that out there. All right. Jordan Bitz from Bismarck, North Dakota, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me.